Namaste. In today's clipping, we will move on to understand the relationship between the additional cost of production due to the additional output that is produced, namely the marginal cost and that of the total cost and the total variable costs. Right? Now, already in the previous clippings, we have understood the total cost, the total variable costs, the behavior of total fixed costs, and as a result, the behavior of the average costs, average variable costs, and the average fixed costs. Right? Now, marginal cost of production can very well be understood as the rate of change of the total cost. This is also known to you, and one bit of the relationship between total cost and the marginal cost we have seen. Right? Now, lot more about the behavior of total cost and the marginal cost and the total variable cost and the marginal cost. That is what we are going to see in today's clipping. Right? Okay. Now, the units of output, the behavior of total cost, and then the marginal cost. Right? We would see that. Alright. Zero level of output, you know that total cost might be some particular amount, and when the level of output is going to increase one after the other, you know that the total cost initially increases at a decreasing rate and then starts increasing at an increasing rate. Yes? So let's say this is going to be 20, right? So the change in the total cost that is caused due to the additional unit of output that is produced is what is the MC, right? So, MC at this particular level can be understood as change in TC by change in the level of output, which is going to be 10 by 1. So, that's going to be 10. Yes? Then, to reach on to the next level of output, let us say the total cost is going to increase by 8. So, that's going to be 28. Fine. So, 8 by 1. So, yeah, MC is going to be 8. And then the next level, let's say it's going to increase by 5. Right. So, that would be 33. And the level of output is increasing by 1. So, this is going to be 5 by 1, which is 5. And then again, by 5, let's say it's going to increase, and let us say that's going to be 42. What about the output? That's increasing by 1. So that is going to be again at a constant rate. The MC is changing. Fine. And thereafter, when the firm is going to suffer decreasing returns, you know that the TC will increase at a increasing rate. So if it is going to become now 52, yes. The change over here is again by 1 unit. So 10 by 1, that's 10. And let's say the total cost is again going to increase at an increasing rate by say 20. So this is going to be 52 plus 20, 72. So the change is 20. Here the change is 1. So maybe 20 by 1, that's going to be 20. So what do you understand here? The marginal cost, right? Falls and then it increases. Right? The marginal cost falls and then it increases. This is something you have understood already. Let's try and do the two together in a double panel. Right? You try and show the total cost and the marginal cost. Now you have understood that the total cost, it starts from the y-axis. Even at zero level of output, the total cost is some positive amount. So it begins from the y-axis and then it continuously increases. The rate of increase is what is going to be different, right? So starting from the y-axis, initially the total cost increases at a decreasing rate and then at a fast rate. So it's an inverted S-shaped curve. You know that already, right? So yeah, look at this. This is a point of inflection. This is the point of inflection where the slope of the total cost is going to change. So just drop down the vertical Yes, and take it now to the next panel. What do you measure along the y-axis? It's the level of cost, and along the x-axis you show the level of output. That's the first panel, and in the second panel also it's going to be the level of cost along the y-axis and the level of output along the x-axis. Fine. So this is the point of inflection of the total cost, where the slope of the total cost is going to change, and I have just brought down a vertical to the second panel, right? So if you know your marginal cost, you will understand that till this, the marginal cost will be falling at the point of inflection of the total cost. The marginal cost will attain minimum, fine, and then the MC will start increasing. Fine, right? What is the marginal cost again? Marginal cost is nothing but the rate of change of the total cost. So when the total cost is initially increasing at a decreasing rate, we see that the marginal cost falls, right? Yeah, and then the total cost, it increases at a constant rate. That is when the MC becomes minimum and constant. Look at the table. 10, 8, 5 and then 5. Right? So the TC is increasing at a decreasing rate and then at a constant rate. Fine? Yeah? And look at the MC. 10, 8, 5. Okay? And then 5 again. Right? After that, the TC is going to now increase at an increasing rate. Fine? From 5 it becomes 10 and then from 10 it becomes 20. What about the MC? From 5 it goes up to 10 and 20. Fine? So, look at this. This portion of the MC which is increasing, it is due to the total cost increasing at an increasing rate. So, this inverted S shape of the TC, right, is going to be reflected in this U-shaped MC. Why is the TC an inverted S-shaped curve? Due to the operation of the LVP, or due to the short run production behavior, the total cost is going to behave in such a fashion, right? Marginal cost is going to fall, become constant, and is going to increase again due to the law of LVP. Fine, and this is how the total cost and the marginal cost can be expressed through a diagram, the point of inflection of the total cost, which shows the constancy of the total cost, can be shown as the minimum point of the MC. Alright? Yes? Now, from here, let's move on to understand the behavior of the total variable cost and the marginal cost. Fine? So, let me just remove this diagram from here and also this. I'm just going to retain the output and the rest of the details I'm quickly going to change. Fine? Right. What about the total variable cost? The total cost, and then we will move on to the marginal cost. Fine? Before we understand this, just going back to one small recollection out here, total cost can be understood as summation of the total variable cost and also the total fixed cost. Am I right? TC is nothing but TVC plus TFC. Correct? So, in this known equation now, I am going to introduce change. Fine? So, if I introduce change, this will become TCN minus TCN minus 1. Fine? Right? So, this will result in change in the variable cost also. So, this will be now TVCN minus TVCN minus 1 plus TFCN minus TFCN minus 1. Right? What have I done? This is the node identity. TC is TVC plus TFC. I have introduced change in this equation. TCN minus TCN minus 1 which is equal to TVC n minus TVC n minus 1 plus TFC n plus, TFC n minus TFC n minus 1, right? Okay. Now, what is this actually? This is a change in total cost, right? Change in total cost can be understood as change in the total variable cost plus change in the total fixed cost. Now, total fixed cost, will there be a change in that? No, right? Total fixed cost, no change in that. Whatever be the level of output, whether the level of output is 0, 1, 2, it remains the same. Yeah. So, there will actually be a zero change in this, right? There will actually be a zero change in this. Since there is going to be a zero change in the fixed cost, right? Ideally, come on, the change in the total cost is going to be what? Nothing but the change in the total variable cost. Yes, because what's going to happen to the next one? The next component, which is the total fixed cost, there is absolutely no change or a zero change in this. So, this is becoming zero. Then you can understand that the change in the total cost is nothing but the change in the total variable cost alone, because the other one is not going to change at all. Right? Now, look at this. This is a familiar term to you, isn't it? TCN minus TCN minus 1 is nothing but the marginal cost. Get it? So, this is nothing but the marginal cost. So, I can as well express TCN minus 1 as MC. So, MC now is going to be equal to the change in the TVC, or TVC n minus 1 is what is going to be the MC. Yes? Alright? Why? Because the other component, there is no change, zero change. Yes? So, you add on 0, don't add 0, what difference does it make? Yes? So, this TCN minus 1, which is ideally MC, can be understood as change in the total variable cost. Okay? So, this is what I am going to show up there. How total cost makes up TVC plus TFC, and when there is going to be a change in the total cost, how that change in total cost is going to be just due to the change in the variable cost, right? And how? Because there is no change in the total fixed cost, these two are going to be similar. And how that is going to affect the marginal cost is what we are going to understand through the table out there. Yes? Right. So, let's understand how the TVC behaves. This is a known concept to you. So, quickly we will fill it in. Right? So, total variable cost initially will be 0 when the output is 0. No variable cost incurred when the output is 0. And when production starts, the total variable cost will start happening, right? So, initially let's say that is 10, right? Then the next level it is going to increase by 8. So, 10 plus 8 will be 18, right? Then the next level, let's say it's going to increase by 5. So, that's going to be 23, fine? Then again, the next level, let us say it is going to increase by 5, right? So, this is going to be 28, alright? Then the next level, let us say it's going to increase by 10 units. So, that's going to be 38. Then the next level, let's say it's going to increase by 20. So, that is going to be 48, right? So, what do we understand? The TVC is initially increasing at a decreasing rate, constant rate, and then at an increasing rate. This is the general behavior of the total variable cost. You are very well aware of that, isn't it? Then, to arrive at the total cost, I have to have yet another column here, which is the TFC. That's going to remain fixed throughout. Yes? So, let's understand. Probably that's going to be 10 at all the levels, whether the output is 0, whether the output is increasing, 1 by 1, whatever it is. Total fixed cost remains fixed. Yes? So, total cost can be understood as a combination of these two. Right? So, initially it is going to be, let's say, 0 plus 10, 10. Why? This is TVC plus TFC. Fine. And then the next level is going to be 20. Then 18 plus 10, 28. Then 23 plus 10, that is going to be 33. Then 28 plus 10, that is going to be 38. Then 38 plus 10, that's going to be 48. 48 plus 10, that is going to be 58. So this is going to be the total cost. Alright. Yeah. Now what about the marginal cost? Marginal cost is the change in the total cost, or it is TCN minus TCN minus 1. Fine? Right? So what is the change that's happened? For the first level you will not be able to calculate. So just put a dash there. From the next level, the change in the total cost is what? It is, how much is it? It is 10. Right? And then the next level, it is 8. And then the next level, it is 5. And then again, the next level it is 5. Next level it is 10. And then it is 20. Right? Yeah? Now, what did we understand there? We understood that marginal cost can be read as change in the total variable cost. Marginal cost can be understood as TCN minus 1. Also marginal cost can be understood as the change in the total variable cost, TVCN minus TVCN minus 1. Right? Now check out this. This is the TVC column, right? This is the total variable cost column. What is the change here? 10 minus 0, which is 10. Right? Then what is the change here? By 8 units, change is happening. Here again, the change is happening by 5. Right? The change is happening by 5 again. The change 10. Change is 20. Yes? You see that? So marginal cost can be expressed as change in the total cost in the short run. Marginal cost can also be expressed as a change in the variable cost in the short run. This is because the total fixed cost does not change. It remains absolutely the same at all the levels of output. Right? So through a diagram, how will you understand this particular concept? So again, in a double panel, let's check it out. Right? Measuring cost and output. This can be the total variable cost, and this can be the marginal cost, and this can be the level of output. Fine. Total variable cost can be plotted from the origin, because when there is no production, there is no total variable cost incurred. Zero production, variable cost nil, right? So the total variable cost begins from the origin, and it is an inverted S-shaped curve. Alright, so the point of inflection of the total variable cost, it shows where the slope of the TVC is changing. Initially, the TVC is going to increase at a decreasing rate, and then it starts increasing at an increasing rate, indicating that the firm is initially enjoying increasing returns to factor. Later on, it is going to suffer decreasing returns to factor. Yes. So, I am going to bring down a vertical, okay, from this point of inflection to the second panel out here, right? And if you do your marginal cost, if you plot the marginal cost, and if you are going to draw the marginal cost curve, you will understand that marginal cost initially falls, becomes constant, and then it starts increasing. So this initial portion of the TVC, where the firm is enjoying increasing returns, you see that the MC falls, right? And where the TVC is going to change the slope at the point of inflection, MC becomes constant. Thereafter, when the firm is going to suffer a decreasing returns and probably a negative returns, the additional cost of production starts shooting up. The MC starts increasing. Fine. So this is the behavior of the marginal cost. So what have you understood? The additional cost of production in the short run can be understood as the rate of change of the total cost, can also be understood as the rate of change of the total variable cost. Yes? So with this, I think all the particles in the short run we have understood, right? So what did we see? We have seen the total cost as a summation of the total variable cost and the total fixed cost. You also understood how the total cost is a summation of the explicit and the implicit cost. Then we moved on to all the averages. Try to understand the behavior of the AC, ABC and the AFC in the previous clippings, right? And in this particular clipping, what I have given to you is the behavior of the marginal cost as the TC and the TVC changes. The MC is understood through a schedule and through a diagram. Yeah, I hope you enjoy the session. Namaste.